This is a Smog the DM Top 13. Wow! Hello everybody, Smog the DM here, and today I am going to do a Top 13 list. Now, what I'm going to do with these lists they're basically personal favorites, personal worst things, something like that usually. And why do I go 13? Well, hell, everybody does 10s. So why not do 13s? And today, we are talking about the top 13 scariest D&D monsters. Now, if you don't know what D&D is, or even understand what the heck my title name DM is, D&D is shortened for Dungeons & Dragons, and DM is shortened for Dungeon Master. So, these are basically monsters I use throughout campaigns, and they scare the living crap out of my players. So we'll dive right into this list. I gotta say though, it took me a little bit of thinking for me to actually compile this list. So some of the monsters that you might think are a lot scarier may not be on this list. So I'll leave that to the comment section down below. So whatever 13 scary monsters you don't like in D&D, you can put down in the comments section. Righty then, let's dive straight into this list. Shall we? Number 13. Now at number 13, this might be a little bit obvious for what the channel shows. It's dragons. Now, you're probably thinking, Smaug, dragons aren't scary. Trust me, if you're a little tiny player and a dragon is speaking to you, it's scary. Check out this list from The Hobbit, the second movie, and tell me that Smaug is not intimidating if you are Bilbo Baggins in this scene. Roll it.
No, indeed. You seem familiar with my name, but I don't remember smelling your kind before. Who are you, and where do you come from, may I ask?
But the particular dragons I'm talking about are shadow dragons, and shadow dragons are scary, or why they're even on this list, is because they hide in the shadows. They can literally take their physical form and hide it within shadow. Pretty scary, right? So they can bounce back and forth from the dark shadows, and you wouldn't even know it was there. You enter in an empty lair with a crap ton of gold, and you're thinking, where the hell's the dragon? And then the dragon just shows up out of nowhere, and then hides right back to its spot. Like, Jesus, that's scary, man. So that's why shadow dragons and chromatic or color dragons entirely are scary. So we'll move on to the next one on our list. Should be number, good God, let me think, number 12. Now number 12 gets this because this particular weapon is not in the game.
Sylvanas, your quest for immortality has left you vulnerable. I will have my vengeance!
Now you're probably thinking, well, what the heck, Smaug? Worgen are technically not in D&D either. But they are. I'm saying werewolves. Now, this is the only reason why they're on this list. Because their number one way of killing them, silver bullets, are not in the game. Guns are not in D&D at all. So you literally have to have silver weapons with you. And not only that, he better not touch you or bite you, because then otherwise you will turn into one of them. That is scary, man. Like, nobody wants to be a werewolf. Seriously. I mean, it might be cool, but not really. Like the curse of killing people night after night when the full moon rises. Jeez, man. It's pretty scary. Which leads on to my next one on the list at number 11. Number 11 gets this spot because it's just unique. It's very unique. And it's the Cadaver Collector. Now, what these constructs do, they're golems, but what they do is they collect dead bodies and samples to their necromantic masters. That is kind of freaky, but not only do these things have spikes all over them, which they use to impale those specimens, but they can also paralyze you, so that they make sure that you don't get away if you're a chosen victim. That is kind of scary, seeing this 12-foot tall metal construct coming towards you after he sprays you with ecstatic mist. Because you are a chosen pick and then just throws you on the spikes and you die. It's pretty gruesome, man. It's pretty scary. Speaking of paralyzation, number 10. Number 10 gets this spot because this undead is just cool. And it's ghouls. Now, ghouls are different from zombies because 2 reasons. 1, they can paralyze you, and 2, they are fast. And when I'm talking about fast, they are like really quick. Like they'll literally leap towards you in a matter of 1 turn, and it's frightening. They'll paralyze you with their scratches, and that's basically it. They are scary as crap. Oh, and they also like to cannibalize on corpses. So if you see one eating a corpse, that would look kind of freaky, and then it's running towards you as its next victim. Kind of creepy, but also kind of scary. Which will lead us to the next one on our list. Number 9. Number 9 gets this spot because it is just iconic in D&D, and what person would not throw this in? And it's the gelatinous cube. Now, the gelatinous cube is basically a big square blob that literally sucks organic matter out of you. So if you're unfortunate enough as a player to be caught within one of these things, you will be slowly drained of your life essence through this non-really, living cube. It's kind of sad to say, but, some of the things that come out of it from videos are so funny. And you know what? They're pretty scary to players. So I'm like, might as well throw this one on the list. Because it is funny. And it is a very unique monster indeed for sucking organic matter. Now the next one, let me think. What number is this? Oh, okay, number 8. Number 8 gets this spot because, just disgusting. And it's rock grubs. Now, rock grubs, if you do not know what they are maggots that literally swarm and they eat flesh. And they'll suck anything out, living or dead. And the very unique thing that they do is that they'll actually take one of the corpses, revive it, and then use that corpse to fight against you with flailing attacks and strange bites. It's like a zombie almost, except that maggots will be coming in to attack you. And then if you kill the thing, then prepare for the swarm of maggots that are going to be coming towards you. Really scary. Unless you know a fire spell, then it's not so bad. So, rock grubs, pretty scary. They're maggots. Why not? Right? They're pretty ugly. Number 7. Number 7 gets this spot because it spreads plagues. It really does. And it's dire rats. Now you're thinking to yourself, Smaug, are you kidding me? Dire rats at number 7? This is ridiculous. I'm leaving the video. No, wait, just hear me out. If you add a certain plague to these things, they are actually pretty freaking scary. Like, plague will be spreading throughout the entire town because on your adventures, you accidentally contracted the plague. Now, you could also die from this plague just because you didn't go to some cleric about the plague that you have carried. And it could spread, too, to other players and the entire area you are questing in. So it is kind of freaky in its sort of way. But that's based on what the DM would want to do with it. Speaking of diseases and stuff like that, at number 6 gets this spot because of one ability that it has. And this is a mummy. Now, mummies technically get this because of mummy rot. Now, what mummy rot does to a player is terrifying. After you have killed a mummy, you have the chance of contracting this. And it basically means that at some point in time, your whole entire body will wither away into nothing more than a pile of ash and sand that will be caught up in the wind. And also, mummies are actually pretty freaking powerful with their pounds and their fear magic that comes off of them. It's pretty scary, in a sense. It's kind of terrifying. So, speaking of terrifying, and quite possibly, this next creature might be a little bit scarier than mummies, but not as powerful as a mummy. At number 5, I have these on this list because they will convert you if they kill you, and they're wraiths. Now, wraiths are very scary floating ghosts, basically. And what they do is they will go through walls, they will attack you with paralyzation attacks, and if they do slay you, they will convert you into one of them. And then you are forced to kill the rest of your party because you will turn into a wraith. These are pretty... And I know this might be a Lord of the Rings thing. If you're a big Lord of the Rings fan like I am, you'll definitely know where the word ring wraiths come from. They basically come from this monster. Or if you're a crazy person, they're the, Nazgrim. No, not Nazgrim. Yeah, they're just the ring wraiths. So there they are. That's basically where their ideas come from. So speaking of undeath, number 4. Number 4 gets this spot because, well, why the heck not? Why not? Vampires. Now you're thinking as well, weren't they twisted into some crazy stuff like Twilight did? Yes, they were, and unfortunately this has lost a lot of rep to vampires. But vampires are scary. Trust me. They'll drain your blood, they will convert you to fight against your own allies, they will turn into bats, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And they're not easy to kill either. Like, you have to take serious commitment to killing a vampire, even though there's like a million ways you can kill the vampire. It's just based on what DM you have and how nice he's gonna be to you when he throws a vampire. And vampire lords, too, are also pretty damn scary, because they'll have most of the abilities I have just mentioned. So, speaking of undeath, and what's worse than a vampire, at number 3, this is why this one's on the list, because it's a more powerful undead. And it's a Lich. Yeah, just retire right now. And you know Liches are scary. Trust me. If you faced a Lich ever before, you will know what it feels like to fight a Lich. Now, Liches are on this list because they're powerful spellcasters of dark magic, they raise undeath, they are they're undead, they're mages, and if you destroy an entire Lich's fortress, but not actually destroy the Lich, he's gonna come for you. And you won't know when, and you won't know how, but remember this. You have got to go to sleep sometime. So liches are scary because of that reason. And this will ultimately lead to my next monster. Number 2. Number 2 gets this spot because it's a nightmare to players, and it's fun for me. And it's, of course, the Beholders. Now, these guys are strange balls with one eye, with tentacles that have many eyes, and a mouth. And what they do, and why players hate them so much, is because of their rays. They have a telepathic ray, they have an acid ray, they have a blinding ray. That's why they're so fun to play with for a DM. But they're also scary to the players because these are nightmares to fight if the DM sets up the environment perfectly for a Beholder encounter. And Beholders are not fun either to kill because they are literally floating up to escape opponents, and their assortment of rays just absolutely destroys the party of people within it, which ultimately leads to my last monster. And the number 1 scariest D&D monster is the DM.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, here's the reason why. The DM is the guy who literally throws all these monsters towards you. He is the guy responsible for making you go on these adventures. And I'm going to say this as a DM myself, his mission in life is to kill your players. He or she is despising you and is actually trying to figure out what encounter should I do to kill you guys. So they are basically masterminds in disguise, waiting for the perfect moment to strike and kill your player, so that you cry, you have to make a new character sheet, and it's just a nightmare. But sometimes there is a reward in killing your players. You just have to learn what that reward is once you become a DM yourself. It is a cultish act. It is something that you don't want to mess with in the night when we are writing our stories and waiting for your demises simply from either the monsters on this list or from stupid random encounters. Okay, so this pretty much ends the video for today. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you liked this video. And until next time, guys, bye-bye!